Hi there, this is Daniel from theScore eSports, and I'm here with Justin Wong right before EVO. And Justin, how do you feel, going into tomorrow?
Well, I think a lot. I think I'm very nervous because it's going to be the biggest Street Fighter 5 tournament, and also probably the most important Street Fighter tournament in just fighting game history. So, doing good is very important to me.
Why is it necessarily the most important? Was it just because it's so big, or?
I guess because it's really big. A lot of people are just like focusing on it. It's on ESPN. It's on live TV, and it's a new game, so everybody wants to be number one in this tournament.
I was also wondering, you said, you're talking about Street Fighter 5, you're also entered in a lot of other games. What's the like balance for you with playing like a whole bunch of games at EVO with so much on the line for Street Fighter?
So I prematurely entered a lot of games, but I'm probably only going to be playing Street Fighter and Marvel's Capcom 3. So the other games, I would just be DQing myself. But Street Fighter 5 is the main game that I'm really focusing on, and I just enter Marvel, I guess, because I guess I have to enter Marvel.
You have to uphold the legend.
Uphold the legend, uphold me playing Marvel, yes.
Mm-hmm. How do you then, like, I guess, is practice for EVO then like different for you from just regular practice, or is it just part of the practice regimen?
Well, most of the times, like if it's not during EVO season, it's just me like turning on the stream, playing with like the people that tune into my stream. But when it's like during EVO, I just have like usually everybody that comes over to my house, and there will be no streams. It'll just be us having like long training sessions, long sets, and just like talk about like how to improve. So it's very different.
Has it mostly been Street Fighter, like all been Street Fighter for you, not really much Marvel? Or?
I only played Marvel like one set with my other teammate K-Brad, but other than that, literally it's just been Street Fighter the whole time.
I'm sure you know your path through the top 8. Your pull walk has you playing a lot of North American players before you come up against, I think, Fudo at the end. How do you feel about, I guess, your path, and how do you feel about that matchup kind of waiting for you at the end there?
Well, I do think that my road is very easy compared to other roads, but there are a lot of good North American players, and I think if I get that far before Fudo, I have to fight the winner of Nakodo and Human Bomb from Hong Kong, and Human Bomb's he's been in top 8 in EVO before, so and he's a really good Chun-Li. So that's going to be hard too. But I do think if I get to Fudo, I feel like I have a really good advantage because my record against just Mika'd in general, I have not lost to a Mika'd yet. So hopefully this is not the tournament to get Mika'd out, because everyone has a saying, if you get Mika'd, you get Mika'd. And I always tell my friends, it would be really crappy if I got Mika'd at EVO.
Mm-hmm. And definitely. That's not the. You never want to get Mika'd in the first place. You never just want to be put in that corner.
I'd rather get Mika'd maybe a couple turns before, But damn, EVO, I hope not.
Don't get Mika'd at a local.
Yeah, that's
not
fine.
When anybody's watching.
That's fine. Yeah, take the loss at a local, but not at EVO.
Yeah. Is there anybody, I guess, like in particular you're looking forward to playing against that you can think of?
I really want to play just like 2 people mainly. Mm-hmm. It's either Infiltration or Takedo. Those are 2 people I really want to like play at EVO and like really beat them.
Would you have a preference, or is it just like whichever one, just because they're the 2 guys to beat right now?
Well, I never played Infiltration, so I would love to play him. And Takedo has always just beaten me like in really close sets, so this time I really want to be the victor the other way around.
Something I was wondering, we were talking about before, you said like, there's a lot of strong North American players, certainly. You have been kind of at the top of the North American circuit for the last 2 or 3 months or so. What do you think of like where North America's at in relation to international competition that you've seen so far?
So I think that North American players are good. It's just that a lot of people just, they talk a lot. It's the internet. But if you look at like the other strong North American players and who they have beaten, like they have beaten international players just as well. So it's, I guess it would be really unfair to say that they're not on the same level as international competition, because I do think it's very close in terms of like where Japan is, Korea, like everywhere around the world, and USA.
Certainly, this being so early on in the game, it's definitely, it's too early necessarily to call a really strong region, I think.
Yeah, especially like with a giant skill gap compared to like the other games, like Street Fighter 4. It's definitely way closer.
You know, you've been playing around a lot. I think the last time we talked, you were talking about, you know, playing around with some Alex, playing around with Chun and Guile. You know, how do you feel about those characters as maybe like possible counterpicks going to EVO, or is it really just it's about Karin, you know, for now?
I'm definitely going to be playing a lot of Karin this weekend, but I also probably might play another character as well too. So I guess it really depends on who do I fight, and if my research is correct, then I'll probably use those characters for some opponents.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that counterpicking is sort of like something that makes sense in this game?
I do think it's very easy for anybody to say, "Oh, I mastered this character," but I do think there are like matchups where it's nice to have a backup character, especially if you're not comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say one of my worst matchups is against Chun-Li, because I do think Chun-Li is just like a superior version of Karin in every shape and form.
Mm-hmm.
So countering Chun-Li would always be an ideal situation for me.
Something I was talking to Pierre Balrog earlier about Balrog and, you know, him being legal at EVO. I was wondering, how do you feel about Balrog and Ibuki? Because they're sort of, I guess, the hot characters kind of going on right now.
I understand why people complain, and I understand why people are excited. And you know, it's just like, I guess 2 weeks before EVO, but I guess when it comes down to it, I do think that's enough time for anybody to at least be prepared for it. And I guess for the people that do want to just go with Ibuki and Balrog, they have to play a lot of matches as well, compared to you just learning one character. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely very different.
Yeah. What do you think of, I guess, like the strengths of the character? Do you think either of them is a particularly like strong character, or it's kind of EVO is going to be their real test?
I think Ibuki's too early to tell. I think she's very technical, and she'll definitely be a way better character down the road. I do think Balrog's easier compared to Ibuki, but if you're not prepared for Balrog, you will probably lose. Mm-hmm. But if you know a good amount, then you'll definitely give anybody a run for their money.
And just as the last thing, you know, this is, like you said, biggest Street Fighter tournament, perhaps the most important Street Fighter tournament. It's a lot of people's first EVO. It's also, in particular, it's my first EVO and also the first EVO I'm competing at, and probably for a lot of people it's the same thing. Do you have any advice you would give to somebody who's, you know, this is their first EVO, or maybe next year is their first EVO? Like, what is the advice you would give to somebody going to their first huge tournament like this?
You should go there into EVO having fun. It's no matter what, even though it's like the biggest video game tournament in the world, it's an amazing experience if you go in there just having fun, because you get to meet amazing people, all the people that you watched on Twitch or YouTube videos, and it's just really awesome to just walk around and like watch just the matches, because it's an experience that you don't get from staying at home and watching it. And you know, even if you go 0-2, you can still practice. You know, there's a BYOC. And you can also get tips on how to improve your game. I always think that anybody that goes to a tournament, they come back home 5 times stronger.
All right. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.